The Three Stooges, known for their slapstick humor and timeless acts, have captured the hearts of generations. But what if we told you there's more to this comedic powerhouse than meets the eye? From their early struggles to the shocking events happening behind the scenes, these revelations will change the way you see the Three Stooges forever. That's right, folks. Prepare to have your mind blown as we discover the 10 shocking Three Stooges facts that they hid from their fans. Number 10. There were actually 6 Stooges. Forget everything you thought you knew, because this classic comedy group is hiding a secret. There were actually 6 of them. While their name suggests a trio, the Three Stooges constantly kept us on our toes with their ever-changing lineup. Throughout their remarkable half-century reign, only 2 members remained steadfast, like comedic pillars in a whirlwind of slapstick chaos. At the heart of this riotous brotherhood was the indomitable Mo, whose real name was Moses Harry Horowitz. He played the role of the ringleader, guiding the Stooges through countless misadventures. By his side, a loyal companion stood tall, Larry Fine, whose birth name was Larry Feinberg. These 2 comedic virtuosos formed the backbone of the group, providing endless laughter to generations of fans. But here's where it gets truly wild. The third Stooge, the ever-rotating Jester, brought an extra dash of unpredictability to their performances. It all began with Moe's brother Shemp Howard, or Samuel Horowitz, who lent his talents to the trio's early days. Then, in a twist of fate, another brother, known as Curly Howard, or Jerome Horowitz, took center stage, captivating audiences with his iconic curly hair and uproarious antics. Yet these Stooges didn't stop there. Like a comedic relay race, they passed the torch to a series of noteworthy successors. First came Joe Besser, who added his own zany flavor to the mix. And just when you thought you'd seen it all, entered the unforgettable Curly Joe, or Joe Dorita, the final member to don the Stooges mantle. Number 9. Stolen Profits. The final Stooge, the legendary Joe Dorita, known as Curly Joe, had been a steadfast member of the trio since 1958, entertaining audiences with his infectious humor for over a decade. However, as fate would have it, while Dorita lay on his deathbed in 1993, a sinister plot unfolded that would shatter the harmony of the Three Stooges forever. In a stunning turn of events, Dorita's wife Jean, and the granddaughter of Larry Fine, launched a legal crusade against Moe's daughter and grandson, accusing them of a shocking betrayal. The claim was nothing short of astounding. A whopping $5 million had mysteriously vanished from Dorita's share of the merchandising profits, a sum he had rightfully received for more than 25 years. The families of these comedic legends were now at each other's throats, thrusting their once cherished bond into the depths of a bitter and public feud. With the stage set for a Hollywood-worthy drama, a most unexpected character stepped into the fray. None other than Bela Lugosi Jr., the son of the legendary Hollywood vampire Bela Lugosi, emerged as the representative for Dorita and the Fine family. As if plucked from the pages of a screenplay, Lugosi Jr.'s involvement added an eerie and mesmerizing element to an already sensational saga. The courtroom battle raged on, with Dorita and Fine fighting tooth and nail for justice. They sought a powerful weapon, a court injunction that would freeze all funds until Moe's heirs were held accountable for their alleged misdeeds. The stakes were high, the tension palpable as the fate of the Three Stooges' legacy hung in the balance. In a climactic twist, the wheels of justice turned, casting a spotlight on the dark truth behind the alleged betrayal. Moe's grandson and daughter were found guilty of a grievous breach of contract, a verdict that shook the very foundations of their esteemed lineage. The court's ruling demanded justice be served, decreeing that they must pay a staggering $2.6 million in restitution. Number 8. The Great Depression. Amid the gloomy depths of the Great Depression, when despair was spreading like wildfire across America, A trio of comedic geniuses known as the Three Stooges emerged as beacons of laughter. With their foolish antics, relatable characters, and unwavering determination in the face of economic adversity, they brought a glimmer of hope to a nation drowning in sorrow. During an era when average people could only dream of glamorous lives, the Stooges flipped the script on the rich and influential. The Stooges mocked the wealthy and their snobbish ways, reminding people that happiness lies in life's simple joys. With their expert skills and knack for making the upper class look foolish, the Stooges became heroes to those struggling in society. They brought laughter and unity to countless Americans, offering a much-needed break from the hardships of daily life. In a time of darkness, the Three Stooges shone brightly, bringing joy and fostering a sense of togetherness among the tired hearts of the nation. Number 7. They co-starred with Lucille Ball. Before the iconic Lucille Ball graced the world with unforgettable TV moments on I Love Lucy, she embarked on an early adventure alongside the Stooges. In the fourth installment of the Stooges shorts titled Three Little Pigskins, Ball took on the role of Daisy, one of the recruiters who persuades the dim-witted trio to join their college football team. This early collaboration allowed fans to catch a glimpse of Ball's future brilliance in physical comedy, showcasing her comedic prowess even then. Interestingly, Ball sported a blonde look during the filming of this short, a departure from the famous red hair that would later become her trademark. When reflecting on her early experience with the Stooges, ThreeStooges.com reports that Ball humorously claimed the only valuable lesson she learned from them was, quote, how to duck. Number 6. Dishonorable exit. In a shocking twist that sent shockwaves through Hollywood, the year was 1957 when the legendary comedy trio, the Three Stooges, found themselves mercilessly booted out of Columbia Pictures, leaving them dumbfounded and reeling from the unexpected blow. For a staggering 24 years, they had poured their hearts and souls into creating low-budget comedic masterpieces that raked in fortunes for the very studio that now showed them the door. Yet, instead of a grand farewell or even a simple word of appreciation, their departure was met with chilling silence, as if their years of dedication had been reduced to mere whispers in the wind. But fate wasn't done playing its wicked game. Just a few weeks later, Mo, the leader of the trio, bravely marched back to the studio, hoping to bid farewell to the esteemed executives who once reveled in their laughter. However, the cruel hand of destiny struck again, this time in the form of an unsympathetic security guard who denied Mo entry with a heart-wrenching rejection. The reason? He lacked the coveted studio pass for that very year, an inconsequential detail that magnified the pain of their dismissal. To add insult to injury, while the Three Stooges licked their wounds and tried to piece together their shattered dreams, Columbia Pictures sat atop a hidden treasure trove of completed films, enough to fuel their release schedule for a staggering 18 months into the future. It was a bitter reminder of their immense contribution and the sheer magnitude of what had been callously taken away from them. Number 5. Manipulation of Harry Cohn. In the realm of showbiz, where dreams collide with the harsh realities of power and greed, the Three Stooges found themselves trapped in a tumultuous dance with the infamous Harry Cohn, the boss of Columbia Pictures. For an astonishing span of 23 years, they toiled under his watchful eye, their popularity soaring as they unleashed a flurry of comedic brilliance on the silver screen. But behind the glitz and glamour, lurking in the shadows of success, was a man who reveled in his role as the master of a colossal movie factory. Harry Cohn, the president and chief of production at Columbia Pictures, had a reputation that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. His iron fist ruled with a merciless grip, and he relished in terrorizing his own employees. In fact, he once brazenly remarked that running the studio was, quote, better than being a pimp, end quote, a chilling testament to his character. Despite their immense talent and undeniable contributions, the Stooges became pawns in Cohn's game of manipulation. He callously forced Curly, even after he had suffered debilitating strokes, to continue working without an ounce of concern for his well-being. It was a heartless act that showcased the depths of Cohn's cruelty. Cohn's stinginess knew no bounds. Year after year, the Stooges found themselves renegotiating their contracts, their hopes dashed by Cohn's claims that the shorts division of the studio was unprofitable. Fearing the repercussions of challenging Cohn's alleged criminal connections, the Stooges reluctantly accepted meager paychecks, their talents undervalued and their pockets left wanting. But Cohn's exploitative ways didn't end there. When the trio's film shorts experienced a sudden resurgence on television, filling the homes of millions with laughter, Cohn callously left them, quote, out in the cold. While he reveled in the massive profits streaming into his coffers, the Stooges were left with empty pockets, their hard work lining Cohn's pockets while they received nothing but silence. In the twisted realm of Harry Cohn's reign, talent was taken for granted, and compassion was a foreign concept. The Stooges were left battered and bruised, a stark reminder of the treacherous underbelly that lurks beneath the glamour of Hollywood's silver screen. Number 4. Unnecessary violence. Behind the laughter and comedic antics of the Three Stooges lies a dark and little-known truth. Violence permeated their sets, creating an atmosphere where pain and injury were considered a necessary ingredient. The orchestrator of this was none other than director Jules White, who shamelessly disregarded the safety of the Stooges in his pursuit of excessive violence and cruel gags. With a heart devoid of compassion, White pushed the boundaries of brutality, introducing a variety of dangerous props into their acts. Mallets, scissors, and even saws became regular instruments of torment, heightening the level of violence in each scene. The Stooges, mere pawns in White's sadistic game, suffered the consequences. Sprained ankles, fractured ribs, broken bones, and cracked teeth were just a few of the physical injuries they endured as a result of White's insatiable appetite for chaos. In the realm of Stooge body language, a gesture emerged that spoke volumes about their disdain for one another. The iconic V formation, where the ring and index fingers were jabbed into someone's eyes, became a trademark move that symbolized pure contempt. Surprisingly, this had its origins in a real incident. During a heated card game, Shemp, consumed by anger at what he believed to be Larry's cheating, erupted in a fit of rage and thrust his fingers forcefully into Larry's eyes. Mo Howard, ever the keen observer, stored this display of aggression in his memory bank, deeming it a fitting addition to their on-screen repertoire. Behind the scenes of their comedic empire, the Three Stooges were not immune to pain and suffering. The true cost of their slapstick humor came in the form of physical injuries and a willingness to inflict harm upon one another for the sake of entertainment. It serves as a reminder that sometimes, even in the pursuit of laughter, the line between comedy and cruelty becomes blurred. Number 3. Hitler versus the Stooges. In the depths of the 1930s, as Adolf Hitler's sinister influence crept its way into Hollywood, the power of his frontmen reached the doorsteps of prominent studios like Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, and MGM. These studios found themselves dancing to the tune of Nazi screeners, succumbing to their demands for censorship, thus stifling any criticism of Hitler's oppressive regime. However, amidst this dark cloud of influence, there emerged a trio of comedians who fearlessly dared to expose the truth about Hitler. Undeterred by the nation's policy of neutrality that prohibited the production of anti-Nazi films, the Stooges, alongside Columbia Pictures, seized an opportunity. While feature films faced strict regulations, the realm of film shorts provided a loophole, a canvas on which they could paint a bold and irreverent portrait of Adolf Hitler's despotic rule. And so it came to pass that You Nasty Spy, their first film, shattered barriers as the first American production to openly mock Hitler's reign. This audacious move, undertaken long before Charlie Chaplin's iconic The Great Dictator hit the screens, earned the Stooges a spot on Hitler's personal death list. The Führer, seething with fury and insulted by their portrayal, singled out the Stooges as favored casualties, their names etched near the top of his macabre ledger. The irony of it all? The Stooges, those brave souls who dared to defy Hitler, were themselves of Jewish heritage. Miraculously, Hitler's vengeful list proved impotent, failing to harm the Stooges in any tangible way. They stood as a testament to resilience and defiance, unyielding in the face of a tyrant's wrath. Through their comedic lens, they exposed the truth, defying the censorship that tainted the industry and becoming an indomitable force that challenged the very foundations of Hitler's regime. Number 2. Curly's decline in health. Curly's life was an unfortunate tragedy that eclipsed the misfortunes of his fellow Stooges. In a cruel twist of fate, he was betrayed by those he held dear, leaving him emotionally scarred and seeking solace in destructive binges that served only to mask his pain. His final years were a haunting descent into darkness, plagued by a relentless series of strokes that rendered him paralyzed, condemned to a life confined to a wheelchair. At the tender age of 47, Curly's deteriorating health necessitated his placement in a nursing home, as his own family found themselves ill-equipped to meet his complex needs. However, the weight of his mental deterioration proved too much for the nursing staff to bear, and his family received a heartbreaking recommendation to commit him to a mental hospital. The loss of their beloved Stooge, experienced by family, friends, and devoted fans, struck like a thunderbolt of sorrow. It was a devastating blow, leaving a void that could never truly be filled. But amidst the darkness, the Three Stooges would soon face yet another tragic loss. Refusing to yield to the physician's recommendations, Moe, with unwavering determination, made a fateful decision. He sent his brother Curly to the confines of Baldy View Sanitarium in San Gabriel, California. It was within those walls that Curly would find his final resting place, bedridden and isolated, with only the weight of loneliness as his companion. In the bleak month of January 1952, at a mere age of 48, Curly took his last breath, departing this world in solitude. The story of Curly's tragic demise remains etched in the annals of the Three Stooges' history, a testament to the fragility of life and the toll that it can exact, even upon those who bring joy to countless others. Number 1. Ted Healy's unnatural cause of death. Ted Healy, the enigmatic founder of the Three Stooges, cast a captivating shadow over the comedy scene of the 1920s and 30s. Revered by historians as a comedic genius, Healy was also known for his mercurial nature, possessing a volatile Jekyll and Hyde personality that added a touch of intrigue to his already impressive repertoire. The stage was set for a fateful and ill-fated encounter on the evening of December 20th, 1937. In a state of inebriation, Healy stumbled into the glittering embrace of Hollywood's famed nightclub, Trocadero. Little did he know that this night would forever alter the course of his life. Within the dimly lit confines of the establishment, he crossed paths with Wallace Beery, a fellow silver screen luminary, as well as a notorious figure in the criminal underworld, Pat DiCicco, the trusted enforcer of New York mobster Lucky Luciano. Sparks flew and a fierce confrontation ensued, fueled by alcohol-soaked tempers. The confrontation spilled out into the gritty streets of the Sunset Strip, a battleground where violence and chaos reigned supreme. It was here that Healy found himself mercilessly pummeled, endured a savage beating that would leave him battered and broken. Reports even suggested that Wallace Beery himself played a role in the melee, and among the onlookers stood a young Albert Cubby Broccoli, who would later go on to produce the iconic James Bond films. The identities of the assailants remained shrouded in mystery, and no one was ever held accountable for the heinous crime. Whispers circulated, suggesting that Shemp, one of the Stooges, possessed vital information about the incident. But fear of retribution from the formidable Luciano kept the truth concealed. Barely clinging to consciousness, Healy reached out to Shemp, desperate to relay the harrowing details of the assault. In a voice weakened by pain and despair, he recounted the names of his attackers, Beery, DiCicco, and an unidentified third figure. But fate had dealt a cruel hand, and Healy slipped into a coma, his tenuous grip on life slipping away. The following day, the world bid farewell to a comedic pioneer. Yet the police investigation into his tragic demise was abruptly extinguished, vanishing like a wisp of smoke. Whispers persisted that Louis B. Mayer, the powerful movie mogul, orchestrated a cover-up, shielding his prized star, Beery, from the clutches of justice. And that wraps up our list of 10 shocking Three Stooges facts that they hid from their fans. The Three Stooges were a group that defied expectations, challenged tradition, and brought laughter to the masses. They surely left an indelible mark on the world of comedy. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.